Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to Synchronize. I almost said it was Tuesday, and that's my bad.
But it's not Tuesday. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, I know. It's Wednesday now. It was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday.
Right. Now it's Wednesday. And Wednesday is Synchronize. And welcome to Synchronize. And we have Professor Olaf. You didn't bring the lab coat?
No lab coat, no glasses, no cosplay. I know, I failed you all. I'm sorry. I still need to buy the lab coat, really.
All right, this day's wasted. All right.
Good night, everybody. I still need to at least get like an art piece done, like an avatar of myself with the lab coat and the whole thing. I've already talked it over with one of my buddies, like designing it.
Kind of like the angel lab coat Photoshop.
Kind of. Literally what we're looking at doing is like Professor Oak from the beginning of Pokemon.
Jesus.
Except it's all just like random KOF merch instead of Pokemon.
Professor Olaf, is that what it is?
Sure, why not?
You know that.
I mean, Professor Oak looks like he could be like Geenits' like simple cousin. They could be related.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
So anyways, I'm sure you've seen enough on Twitter how much I've been ranting and talking, and if you tuned in last week, I brought it up. It's finally here. The Geenits presentation. This is going to be a lot of me talking about Geenits, his history, why he's cool, why he is my favorite, and I'm choosing my words very carefully, my favorite villain from KOF.
Ah, okay.
I have to choose the words very carefully there. So, choosing the words very carefully there, because I probably still like Geese Howard more, but he's not a villain from KOF, he's a villain from Fatal Fury. And like, Adelheid is way up there, but he's not a villain. So, villain from KOF, Geenits is pretty much my favorite. He's just fucking awesome. And more to a point is, I think he is arguably the single most important, influential character in the entire canon. So that's kind of why we're here. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna answer some questions, and we're going to narrow down a major question, and we'll get there.
Okay.
I have this whole slideshow, this whole presentation. It's gonna be fun.
And I will just be chilling here and
No. And that's the thing. You, much like the viewers at home, can feel free to poke in, ask questions, talk about it. Because I'm honestly like, I think I've got probably an hour of talking if I'm just by myself doing it.
Okay.
So if people want to stop, ask questions, clarity, whatever, or if we get on a little bit of a sidebar on a slide, totally fine.
Okay.
I have mentally allotted for that. This is a presentation, but it's not like a speech. We're good.
Every time I think I have like something that's gonna last an hour, it ends up lasting like 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah. See, that's the thing. Like that's why if I was just alone talking, I think I could do it in an hour, maybe less than an hour. But I'm opening the floor for people to be like, "Hey, what about?" or "What is that?" or some stuff like that. Right. You know.
Okay. Fair.
So if you can do me two favors: one, you bring up the presentation, and two, if you could put the chat on this screen so I can see them. Because I'm really having a hard time reading some of that over there, besides the Goenitz parodies.
Yeah, it was already over there, so I just didn't have a chance. Okay, so then you need this.
Perfect.
Right?
All right, and then all you have to do is bring it up.
Yeah, I can do
and
that with the mouse.
Then click the mouse over there so that left-right works. Thanks, Cone.
Hey,
right,
like I said, Kitty did it last time, so...
Dude, I can't believe she like gave you the segue.
Yeah, I know, and she did it so genuinely, wholeheartedly, too, so yeah.
I mean, Obari gushing, etc. Yeah. Anyway, so... Geenits. Or Geenits. The man, the myth, the legend. The bastard. So, this is a whole presentation, which means we are going to do the whole who, what, where, when, why, how.
Jesus, okay.
We're doing it. We're going
all
it.
right,
now, the thing is that 3 of those are kind of lumped all into one, because how do you say who and what about a person? So, who is Geenits? What is his deal? Where did he come from?
It sounds like... God, you remember that...
Nick News W5.
Who was it? It was... It was the vice presidential candidate, I think, for Ross Perot, who started his vice presidential speeches with, "Who am I? What am I doing here?" You know?
Barry Burton. What is this? All right, so quick little like elevator pitch on kind of who he is. He's extremely powerful, as in he is literally one of the most powerful characters in KOF lore.
Okay.
Like, he is a bad motherfucker.
Right.
He is super smart. He has a very calm demeanor. Like, you don't see him get enraged. Like, he's like bleeding to death, and he's like, "Oh, this is nice." Okay. Like, he just talks calmly and peacefully with almost everyone. He is zealous. He is a religious fanatic for Orochi. He believes wholeheartedly in everything he does, which can make him very scary. You know, someone who deeply believes in what they're saying is much harder to talk down. And more than anything, he's a schemer. He will do things years in advance to put things into motion. Okay. He works behind the scenes. We see this even in the KOF 15 ending for Orochi team, where he just shows up at the end casually, and they're like, "Where have you been?" He's like, "I had some stuff to take care of. Don't mind." He's a schemer.
Right. Now, I mean, would you say he's kind of like, you know, the archetype of just like being the completely like unflawed villain, you know, kind of thing? Like, he's almost kind of like that perfect villain, as opposed to being one of those villains that has like clear...
I mean, that's a perspective thing, really. Okay. Like, to me, he is kind of the perfect villain.
Right.
Like, because I love the villains that have you can kind of see where they're coming from or why they are the way they are. Mm-hmm. And to some people, that's kind of a flaw. So it depends on who you ask, whatever.
Right.
But he's also a badass, but he can also be a little arrogant.
Okay.
And his arrogance is probably like his biggest like legitimate flaw.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, the dirty scheming Geenits. So, kind of know, like, you know, what Geenits is. First and foremost, he is a member of the Hakushu.
Now, I'm going to ask a couple of questions here, and if they're later on in your presentation, feel free to stop me. Again, are you going to talk about which games he's in?
Of course.
And, yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure I knew what his history there is.
Like, hey, Laban. 98. All right, so... Geenits is a member of the Hakushu, which means the 8 heads of Orochi, which, you know, as you know, Orochi is the 8-headed snake, so each of these characters represent one of the 8 heads. It's like kind of a whole play on words thing. And he is the top dog. The ones on the right there are the Heavenly Kings. There are 4 of them. So the ones on the left are, you know, kind of the normies of the Hakushu comparatively, which means they're still horrifically badass, but maybe not quite as badass. And he's top dog, he's king shit. These are all their names, and if you'll notice, 2 of them, as a little fun trivia fact, 2 of them actually have a first and last name. None of the others do. Emphasis on none of the others do.
Okay.
Because no. Bad. Anyways, so...
Wait, are you going to talk about the other guys?
Not neat. I mean, they're not part of the presentation. This is a Geenits presentation.
Who's Guidel again?
Leona's father.
Ah,
Leona's birth father.
Yeah. The one that
we've never seen.
Geenits kills, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay,
well,
okay.
Less he kills, but that's a whole other thing.
Okay.
He puts things into motion where he dies, yes.
Right, yeah. Okay.
But this is the closest thing to art Guidel has. Right, a fucking silhouette.
Okay, fair.
So, no. Oh, Air got hit with ads? That's no good.
Nah.
So, Geenits debuted as the final boss of KOF 96. You get through KOF 96, you fight Chizuru, and then he's like, "Hey guys, what's going on? Having a good time." But, canonically speaking, he appeared much earlier, but most recently, he appeared between 95 and 96, where he beat Kyo's ass so bad, he stopped being a normal Shoto.
Does he actually say, "Come at me, bro"?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, man.
So, yeah, he changed the man's whole move list. changed him from a traditional Shoto to a Rekka character. But then, KOF 96 happens, and then he dies, as most KOF bosses do, because it's a KOF boss. Whoops.
Right.
But all of this set into motion the events of KOF 97, and, we all kind of know where that goes.
Right. Okay. Okay. The CYS shows up. Chris then becomes the crazy and turns into Orochi, and then is defeated by
The Sacred Treasures.
the Sacred Treasures. Right. Okay.
And then shortly thereafter, Kyo is kidnapped by Nests and tortured and cloned, and bad times ensue.
When does Chizuru get the mirror ripped out of her?
03.
03. Okay. Got it.
It's okay. We'll get to that.
Why is Gamora?
So, why Geenits? Why do I fucking love Geenits? Why do I think he's so important? Well, this brings me to one of my favorite slides in the whole presentation.
Okay.
Everything is Geenits' fault. The only thing you missed was basically the abridged version of 96's story. So, and what do I mean by this? Literally, canonically speaking, Geenits and the events that he puts into place are among the earliest in KOF canon. Besides stuff like Orochi and like Iori getting cursed because his bloodline 600 years ago. Like after that, the next thing that happens is Geenits starts fucking up everything for everyone else. And here's a handy dandy chart to show you literally how much he is just directly involved with. Just directly.
Okay. Okay.
So way back, he's the reason why Rugal gets his eye ripped out and gets more Orochi superpowers and deals with Vice and Mature.
Right. He was the one who literally ripped the eye out, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's him. And which in doing so leads to Rugal being a superpowered asshole and murdering Hydern's family.
Right. And he's the one who rips Hydern's eye out, right? Yeah.
Geenits also went to Gaidel's village, said, hey, I'm getting the gang back together. And Gaidel's like, I'm a pacifist now. I'm done. And he's like, oh, really? Triggers the riot of blood in Leona. Leona murders her entire village, including Gaidel, which then leads to Hydern adopting her.
Right.
As we've covered, Geenits whooped Kyo's ass so bad he became a Rekka character. As well as murdering Chizuru's sister. Which then puts Chizuru into hiding, who then she becomes a whole conglomerate, and then becomes the Sacred Treasures team, and y'all know where that goes.
Right.
Plus, he puts into the motion the rest of the events for the rest of the Heavenly Kings in 97, leading to the resurrection of Orochi. Which, of course, then puts into motion more shit! So, direct involvement, this is literally everything is his fault.
Right.
Directly. And then things spiral out of control from there because Orochi Saga is then the catalyst for everything else that's ever happened.
Because even when we get to the Nest Saga and the Ash Saga, it's all still Orochi related.
Still kind of piggybacking off Orochi in one way or another. Like, again, like the events of 99 and the Nest Saga are Kyo was beat up from the whole ending of 97. They were like, hey, free. Cool, mine now. That's my DNA.
Okay.
And everything else is piggybacking off Orochi.
Right.
Like, directly. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how much direct relationship is there between Orochi and, the whole Ash storyline with Psyche and everything like that?
So, short answer is, the bad guys in the Ash Saga are like the Eurotrash equivalent of the Hakushu.
Okay.
Tell me I'm wrong. I love him to death, but like seriously. And the entire point of that plot is them trying to awaken Orochi and steal its power to then have their plan put into motion because free energy.
Right, okay.
Meanwhile, Ash is sitting there collecting the sacred treasures, which we then find out is to fight back against them.
Okay.
But most of the time he's actually being like, he looks like a fucking villain because he's ripping superpowers out of people. And then you find out he was actually doing it to stop them.
Sorry to completely sidetrack this, but if Ash is trying to stop them, why is he hurting like Chizuru and stuff?
Because he's doing it to gather power, and he's doing it to kind of go behind the scenes because they think he's on their side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Psyche is like, hey, Ash, how are you, my ancestor? Let's hang out. He's like, okay, this is not going to go well.
Yeah, okay.
So he does villainous things so that the villains are like, oh, you are one of us.
Okay.
He's literally a self-imposed double agent.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's how that all works. So now here's where shit gets real complicated, because I'm going to talk about everyone's favorite word.
Canon.
And I'm not talking about the KOF canon. We're going to talk about canon and what it is, so that we can set the stage for the rest of the shit.
Jesus Christ, okay.
All right, so, canon.
Jesus Christ, okay.
The term canon, from a Hebrew-Greek word meaning cane or measuring rod, passed into Christian usage to mean norm or rule of faith. The Church Fathers of the 4th century CE first employed it in reference to the definitive, authoritative nature of the body of the sacred scripture. 1. General law, rule, principle, or criterion which one is judged, the appointment violating the canons of fair play and equal opportunity, a church decree or law, or a collection of sacred books accepted as genuine, formation of biblical canon, the works of a particular author or artist that are recognized as genuine, such as the Shakespeare canon.
Okay.
So this matters because basically canon in before now was mostly referring to the word of the church, which therefore is supposed to be taken as the word of God. And yes, there are canonical and non-canonical books of the Bible.
Okay.
This is a major thing. So if you ever get really curious, there's the books called the Gnostic texts, which the Vatican totally just says no, they're non-canon and they're not real, but we want them so that you can never read them. Like the Book of Judas. This is all thing, but the books in the King James, those are the canon books. It is a literal thing.
Okay.
And so basically, as time has gone on, we've adopted it for non-religious uses, this is the things that have really happened in the plot.
Right. And obviously the number one place that this is really used is in comics and
Fandom.
Stuff. Fandom. I mean, because is this officially obviously the MCU is its own canon, the comics are its own canon, and that's when we start getting cross-eyed with alternate universes. Right.
And shit
that's why they create the alternate universe, so they could all be canon in one existence, basically. Right. So.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Cone.
The Catholic Bible contains 7 books that are not included in the Protestant Bible. These special books of the Bible: Sirach, Wisdom, Tobit, 1 Maccabees, Judith, additions to Daniel and Esther. Jesus. Yeah. Oh, dude, that's a copy pasta.
That's amusing.
That same person put the same copy pasta in one of the other streams that I did. So I don't know. All right, I guess I'll just ban this person then. So, because
it's at least amusing, especially when we're talking about the Bible and one of the first words in that post is really fucking funny. Anyways, so when you take this means that the things that truly have officially happened in the plot, the things that characters really are, really do, etc., that is the canon. And anything that is not canon, it starts getting tricky.
Right, of course.
Most notably because of you clicked around, so I need my page back. Thank you. This.
Right.
Official, authorized, licensed does not necessarily mean canon. And I can't tell you how many times this becomes a problem.
Right.
I'm going to show you some of my favorite examples just to clearly illustrate this. All right, so we've got canon on the left. Yep, Riot of Blood, Iori loses his goddamn mind, kills Vice and Mature. We know this to be true. Can I get the mouse back on the thing too?
Oh, no. You don't need the mouse back there. It still works.
Sweet. All right, cool. Now we get the middle one, which is one of the hardest ones. The translation complication.
Yes.
Where the English version of KOF 99 and the Japanese version of the same exact ending are quite different. And we all know a lot of places where this problem pops up, and don't interject because we'll get there.
Well, I do want to mention what Cone says. A great example of canon and not canon is the Star Wars novels
being decanonized.
Yeah, because they were canon.
Yes.
And then they got decanonized. So yeah.
Yeah. And 99 is not the only example of this problem, mind you. And even then, you still have to debate: does Terry still call people a Dweebenheimer? does that count?
Right,
it's
yeah,
in the game.
Translation
shit really complicates matters.
Yeah.
But then there's, licensed official media that everyone knows and loves that does not fucking count, but people are still convinced that Terry's girlfriends die. When none of that's ever happened.
Right, because it's only in the Fatal Fury OVAs and the actual anime that they all die, but none of those are canon, even though they are official, authorized,
Yeah. Like, some of the greatest fucking, adaptations ever made. Completely non-canon. But people are still convinced to this day that Lily McGuire was someone in Terry's life, and she died, and he hates everything.
Right.
Which led to one of my favorite gags of all time, is that Blue Mary actually has a superpower of being able to date Terry and live.
Right, yeah. But canon, that's not a power she needs. Yeah. She doesn't need that power.
And also, just to illustrate this point, KOF Destiny is the 3D Chinese animated series that came out a couple of years ago, which, once again, has Terry dating a girl who dies. There's a reason for this. But now, in
the anime world, Terry's never gonna date anyone ever again, dude. I think he's
yeah.
No, actually, you know what he should do? He should find all the people that are the villains and date them.
Win-win.
Right.
Now, for a special treat, for James and for some of the other fans on here who may appreciate Street Fighter, I'm also going to point out one of my favorites, which is the Street Fighter 2 animated movie does all three of these in the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
Ryu, Shoryuken, Sagat Scar. Yeah, for sure. Translation complication. This is Balrog. Clearly says M. Bison on the screen.
Right.
And the name of this little terrorist is Cammy White.
Right.
That is not her last name. She does not have a last name. This, as far as I know, is the first appearance of her being given a last name, and to this day, Capcom official pages, games, etc. have never used it.
So after this, they've just not, in all of the official bios and stuff like that, they've never said Cammy White ever
The
again.
only exceptions might be the Udon comics, which were originally meant to be canon, and then they got taken away from them.
Right.
Yeah, no. The voice actress for Cammy put hashtag Cammy White on, her talking about it. Everyone knows Cammy White, but it's not real. Right. And it's a whole fascinating, spiral of how much a rumor or one thing in official media can spiral into everything else that we all know and love.
I mean, the crazy thing is, one of the worst ones, for example, is, I think it's the official, I'm not the official, the Van Damme movie, as well as because the G.I. Joe tie-in comes off of the Van Damme movie. Ryu's last name is Hoshi in that.
And Chun-Li Zhang.
Yeah, and Chun-Li Zhang, and then there's also William F. Guile.
Yeah, Colonel William Guile.
Yeah.
Which was also, the first thing you hear in the USA animated series from Deke.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely wanted to just get into that. William Guile.
Okay,
yeah, which, I mean, honestly, I'm actually a fan of. I think William Guile is actually completely solid.
Yeah.
But the reason we'll never hear it is because the Street Fighter V cutscenes with, his higher-ups and stuff, as someone who's been in the military, that man would just look at him and be like, hey, Bill, how's it going?
Yeah.
Officers call each other by first name. Fun fact.
Yeah. The other thing, too, I mean, shoot, where was I going with this? Yeah, so remember before Street Fighter V came out, they came out with all those pictures of, they even named the two guys fighting in the title of Street Fighter 2 and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Shadaloo, character data site.
And so Cammy didn't even have the
Cammy is only Cammy on there. I checked and verified for myself last night to make sure I wasn't talking out of my ass.
Now here's...
Ken Masters has his full name on there.
Right, so here's that was what I was just about to ask. Ken Masters obviously has the full name. They've Masters Foundation, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Does anybody else actually have a full name?
In the entirety of Street Fighter canon?
Yeah,
I mean, Mika does. Karen does.
Oh, Karen
Sakura.
Katsuki, right. Sakura Kasagano, right?
Yep.
What's Mika's last name?
Nanakawa,
okay. Edmund Honda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Charlie Nash, no!
Yeah.
Now, I think that's still technically true, but it could be translation complication.
Right.
But on his profile, they're only showing the Street Fighter V one and only labeling him as Nash.
Right.
Because they called him Nash even in America to differentiate him from Alpha Charlie.
Yeah.
Yep. Dan Hibiki, exactly. There are a lot.
Because Charlie, I mean, he was Nash in Japan. And when Alpha came out, he became Charlie. But the funny thing is, what was the original ending in Street Fighter 2 in Japanese? Because the original ending in Street Fighter 2 was, do you remember me? Do you remember Charlie? And that's why...
I have no idea what it is in Japanese.
Right, so I'm wondering, in Japanese, did they name him Nash? Or is it because they intended him to be Charlie Nash the whole time?
Who knows?
I don't know.
But yeah, strangely, the website does not call him Charlie Nash. Just strangely on that.
I mean, yeah, obviously, like, M. Bison is supposed to be Mike Bison.
Yeah. And that's a whole, translation complication.
And so now that's why that one comedy sketch that Madge's friend made is canon to me. Do you remember that one? So, like, they showed it at EVO. It was like a comedy sketch of, like, the story of Balrog. Do you not remember that?
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, God. I
was probably in Texas.
Okay, I need to show that to you one of these days.
Yeah.
Basically, one of the best scenes of that one is they kept calling him Mike Bison the whole entire time. And then when he joined Shadowloo, they have a scene where they're all sitting around a poker table. And he's like, I won, haha, and now we have to switch names. So from now on, I'm Balrog. You're M. Bison. Like, it was hilarious, dude.
Yeah. Blanca is Jimmy. Because that's straight Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. Oh, Juri Han. Crimson Viper's not a real name.
No.
So, yeah.
Viper is not even her name.
Yeah, that's all
it's alias.
Yeah, it's an alias.
But yeah, basically, like, the trick is the Street Fighter 2 characters there's only like one or two that have names, but then once we get into Alpha, they really branch out and start giving more and more characters full names.
Yeah, and Cammy, of course, her story got complete, because like the ending that she originally had was Bison, going up to Bison, he's like, don't you remember?
We were in love.
We were used to be lovers, and she's like, no! And now that even got retconned to the point where now she's just the clone doll body thing, and...
Yeah, which, I mean, the thing is that if you also look at her age, it just keeps making Bison creepier and creepier. It's like, not only are you creating a clone body for yourself that's a girl, but she is underage, and you just told her you were lovers.
Right. Well, like I said,
Bro!
that lover storyline got completely wiped out.
It's just really funny thinking about the hindsight, though. So anyways, talking about all this licensed
like Loki
official...
falling in love with Loki.
Yeah, why not? I'm not commenting any further on this. So, we obviously have an issue here sometimes when you get licensed official stuff, and people starting to take... things as canon, then they're not canon, etc., etc. Which, of course, brings us to manhwa. So, before I go any further, I do want to point out this little tidbit. Most, if not all, of the KOF manhwa was indeed licensed. Regardless of the fact that the KOF 96 manhwa has a Tekken team where Devil Jin fights Orochi Iori.
Now, say that again. Say that again. I was thinking of something else.
Devil Jin from Tekken fights Orochi Iori in the KOF 96 manhwa.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. I mean, you remember
the manhwas are fucking insane.
Yeah, the original Street Fighter comic that came out had them beating up on Fatal Fury guys too. Yeah.
And there you have it. So I'm going to take y'all back on a wonderful tour to a magical place called the 90s.
You wrote it in Jurassic Park font.
I absolutely did.
Now, before we get there, my curious is like manhua is Chinese. That's how Chinese people call comics. Is that the official term in Japanese, or?
So it's literally just the Chinese equivalent of manga.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's literally, and it's so basically for us to be Romanizing it. That's how we shorthand it. That manga? Oh, it's the Japanese one. Manhwa? Oh, okay, it's the Chinese one.
Yeah.
Manhwa with a W? Oh, it's the Korean one.
Oh, okay, right. So I don't know what man means. I don't know if it means, but hua means draw. So okay. that's what I know. So
I mean, it works. I'm taking it, whatever. Okay, so back in the 90s, and also just to clarify, I definitely chose the Jurassic Park font for being the most iconic 90s thing I could, while also, if you remember the entirety of the 90s, you're a fucking dinosaur. Hi!
Fair.
Because it was either this or like shitty fucking over-the-top fonts like Saved by the Bell. So I went with Jurassic Park.
Okay.
back in the 90s, when we were kicking back on our 56K in the infancy of the internet, and we were trying to be fans of shit that wasn't too big in America, it was really hard.
It's very, very hard.
And you would then find rumors. You would find these websites that would share things, and you would just latch on to whatever you could fucking find. There were fan sites everywhere. There were mediocre scan translations.
Yeah, I don't know if people can really grasp how reductive our information was back before the internet. How hard it was to find any information on anything that we wanted, you know? I mean...
God damn. Okay, this is getting better.
Oh, okay. Because, like, even to the point where, you know, we literally had no idea how other countries played the fighting games and stuff. Like, Daigo was just a rumor. Yeah, that's why
until he came out to fight Alex in Alpha 2.
And so it was Alpha 3.
Was it 3? Okay.
Yeah, so it was 3. He did all that shit, right? And then that's why the Daigo parry was so crazy, because people don't realize that's his first Evo. He was a legend, but everyone was like, is he really that legend? And then he did the Daigo parry, and we were like, it's all real. It's all real. Oh my god. So, yeah.
So yeah, this is a factor, but then about the whole conversation of canon, you find something, you have to wonder if it's real or not. I had friends who were literally reading scanlations of Dojin comics and thinking that how characters were presented in those was how they really were.
Yeah,
So when you find, you know, a really weird Dojin where Shingo is so obsessed with Kyo that he ends up killing himself, you start wondering what's wrong with Shingo's head, not the author! But no, one of my buddies was convinced that Shingo was that obsessed with Kyo.
That Shingo, killed himself?
Yeah.
And so
he understood, like, okay, Shingo's not dead. I get that, but I mean, they've got to be basing his personality on something.
Oh man.
Anyway, so you really had to like question what you were looking at, or you accepted a lot of things you possibly shouldn't have been accepting.
Like the Cammy White, right? So
that, or again, manhwa.
So if you see, like, for example, the timeline, right, and then all of a sudden Cammy White becomes a thing that's official, is that considered a canon spike?
You know, I'm gonna let you have that. I'm gonna let you have that.
Okay, yeah. You knew I was going somewhere with that.
I wasn't sure if it was that or if you could do like a Loki variant or something. So you would see rumors online, especially like late 90s, early 2000s. You'd see a rumor online and you'd take it as gospel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember this?
Oh. Wow.
Completely missing that this was an April Fool's joke, mind you.
I mean, everybody...
Because by the time I saw it, it wasn't April 1st anymore.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I don't know how many people in chat have ever seen this before, but this is literally an SRK April Fool's joke that someone photoshopped together. And yeah, they threw in a 0. They used Thor from the assist. Yeah, the assist. And I think they tried to like pretend
Dante.
Ghost Rider is in there, but they actually like used an Lord Raptor kind of thing or something like that. Yeah, this
Yep.
This wasn't even an MM Cafe thing. This was an SRK. This was an SRK April Fools, wasn't it?
Nope, it was MM Cafe. Because I found the post of them like making it happen. Like them advertising like who they talked to and made it happen. It may have debuted on both simultaneously.
Interesting. I thought this was the SRK guys made this. Okay. Well.
But I mean, yeah, because you can actually still find like the archive of their post explaining their jokes and who did them up and everything. Okay. There might be a shared author or something.
Right. Okay.
Most of this became real, oddly enough.
Yeah. It's true.
But I definitely remember this among a bunch of other April Fool's jokes hitting me way harder than they should have because information at the time was sketchy. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're going to use. That's the word we're going to use.
Yeah.
Which, of course, leads us to the reason I'm sure most of you are here.
The name.
The name. So before we get to the bullshit, let's talk about facts.
Okay.
Geenits derives his name from a character from the very influential and currently relatively controversial series Space Battleship Yamato. It is an incredibly influential series. It inspired way more than anyone cares to admit, especially in Mecha, also in KOF. Also, apparently, it's implied to have inspired the name, even the Hadoken, for Street Fighter.
Oh, really?
Apparently. That's something I heard today. But it's definitely a controversial politically series because of what it is. And, okay, so I'll talk about this. I'm not going to dig too deep into it because I am not an expert. Clarifying this. But it can be assumed that Shinzo Abe was a fan because it is basically a
Shinzo Abe?
Yes.
Is...
The politician that was recently assassinated.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So this series is essentially an allegory of World War II, except that Japan was never allied with the Nazis.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like the rewriting history thing.
Right.
And so as it's gotten re-releases and remakes recently, there have been a lot of people like, are you sure you want to do that? But to the point that the villains of the series are all named after fucking Nazis.
Right.
Very literally. And of course...
You said the heroes are named after?
Villains.
Villains.
The villains.
Okay.
The alien villains are very clearly Nazis.
Okay.
Not the least of which being... the Gatlantian Naval Commander-in-Chief, Geenits. Who is named after Admiral Karl Dönitz.
Okay.
By the way, if we're really going to dig into this... Karl Dönitz is one of the most terrifying, examples of leadership because he was the commander-in-chief admiral. When Hitler went missing, he took over as the de facto leader until the unconditional surrender.
Okay.
He was that high up the fucking ladder.
Okay.
Now, so this is all very troubling. Of course, but, if you're gonna name your character after a Nazi, you might as well pick the higher-ranking one, I guess. I don't fucking know. Now, I would think, though, that maybe there's a chance it was hearsay, because I haven't seen the actual hard facts of how he was named after a character named after a Nazi, sure. It was definitely so Geenits was named after this alien who was named after a Nazi.
Right. I mean, it could even just be that the KOF guys didn't really know the history. They just liked the show and...
Oh, I highly doubt that. let's
Okay, fair.
But, so the thing is, I have seen, the little things of, Geenits in KOF is named after this Geenits. And I've only seen them on wikis and stuff. And I'm like, I would take that as hearsay. I could maybe be like, maybe, until we get to further characters.
Okay.
That's not an accident.
Yeah.
Old SNK staff, somebody really liked the series. And it's apparently, a good series, and it's super influential, but it's also, you have to understand some of the significance there.
Okay. By the way, on my stream yesterday, some people were talking about JP, and they were saying that, I swear he looks like a fake Rugal, right? And so someone said that he's Frugal, and I was just like, that's great, and I appreciate that.
Gotta save the money, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, in case we ever need to make fake Rugal jokes, right, we can call him Frugal, so there you go. Anyways, continue.
So, which of course means also that, hey, we have a picture for Guidel now.
But wow, Leona's dad is blue.
That's where she got the hair.
Oh, so there you go. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So
can I copy your work? But you have to change it so the teacher won't notice. Yep.
KOF, especially it's not even like you can defend any. No, this is literally, these are pivotal characters to the story in early Orochi Saga.
Yeah.
They're all It's clearly there. It's unavoidable.
There are
also eye patch.
Right. Oh yeah, you're right too. Okay. Yeah, there are coincidences, and then there's this.
Yeah. I mean, again, Mary's based on Android 18, whatever.
Yeah.
Polnareff led to Benimaru, it's fine. Nobody's hiding it.
Right. Who was the character that Rose was based off of from JoJo? Lisa. Okay.
The same character, basically.
Right. Yeah, JoJo's influenced everything, so yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's fine. We have more influences to draw from. Every creator is inspired by something else they've seen. Mm-hmm. It's unavoidable. But now for the fun part.
Leopold Geenitz.
Now, I think, was it like a year ago or more that I first brought up this is a problem? I tried to put out a bounty and nobody could answer it. There are even wikis out there that say Leopold Geenitz, unofficial name, source unknown.
Really?
Like, they know it's wrong, but they're putting it in there, and they're just saying, we don't fucking know.
Right. We're putting it here just in case it's real.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know.
So let me cover first things first. I have seen, like, posts quoting interviews with staff at SNK that has hard said, no, Leopold is not real. His name is Geenitz, end statement.
Okay.
So I can't quote like what exact interview that was, but this is apparently a thing that's occurred, and it's plenty. We get back to the Cammy White thing. Nobody at SNK is calling him Leopold.
Right.
He's just Geenitz. So how the fuck did this happen? So I started my hunt. I started research. This has been a year plus probably in the making.
Would you consider this your white whale?
We're getting there, yeah. We're really getting there. So I started my hunt, and I thought about every place I could remember having seen it, everywhere that it would have been publicated in any capacity. Which, first things first, everyone's favorite fighting game resource if you're looking for images and detail, good old Fighters Generation.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've got Fighters Generation. That can't be it.
And they just called him Leopold without any caveats at all, right?
So I reached out to Frank Yagami, the webmaster and owner of Fighters Generation. I was like, hey man, let's talk. Where did you get it from? And he's like, I got it from some comic or some sort of formally published issues. I don't know which one, if it was one of the magazines or if it was a manhwa, what it was.
So, I mean, is he one of the main people who proliferated this name then?
That's possible, but I'm not going to point fingers.
Right, yeah, okay.
It does, because it doesn't explain a lot of things, but it would explain some of it. But the thing is, even so, we'd have to figure out where he pulled it from.
Right.
So I thought back to anywhere else I could have. And I put out a hunt on Twitter. And someone, thankfully, reminded me of this exact image from the SVC Chaos manhwa, localized, released in America. And behold, Leopold Geenitz.
And so this is is this an authorized Chinese manhwa, or this
is the officially published English release,
right, of the manhwa,
Yes.
But is the manhwa also
licensed?
A licensed,
Yes.
official licensed?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Like SNK Neo Geo logos all over the fucking
Okay.
place. Which, I mean, still doesn't solve how it got into here, because, fun fact, I actually found the Chinese release. Doesn't say Leopold. It was added to the English one.
Right.
Fuck. Okay. And so some of this conversations has occurred. We've reached out to people, did a bunch of internet sleuthing. I believe Cone had a hand in this one. And we found that the earliest instance of it being posted in English was from a fan fiction from the late 90s, early 2000s by an author by the name of Red Priest 17.
Jesus Christ. Did you try to hunt down Red Priest 17?
Yes!
Oh boy, okay.
But fun fact, all of the old emails attached to that account are like, redpriest17 at yahoo.com. You think they've checked it in 20 years?
Right.
The answer was no, they hadn't. I tried. So I sent an email. I was like, I don't even know if this exists anymore, but hi, I'm doing this thing. No answer. I'm like, well, fuck. All right, well, what do I do? Well, I reach out to the person who is definitely in the credits at the end of this, who sent me the picture originally, and they sent me photos of the cover and inner credits of the English published manhwa.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Which was clearly Torrance. Hi, buddy.
Oh, okay.
So Torrance sent me photos of his copy and let me see the credits. This publisher does not exist anymore. Fun fact.
Okay.
They went under in the late aughts, I believe. But I have managed to track down one or two of the editors. They still are in publications and still in the tech industry.
But what about the translators here, right? So
I mean, those are not the most uncommon names.
Right,
Definitely
yeah,
harder to do. But getting like the higher end English staff from the production company is a little easier. But, you know, if you don't pay for LinkedIn, you can't send messages to people you're not connected to.
Okay,
So I'm just kind of holding out hope that one of them accepts my friend request on LinkedIn, and then I'll probably still not get much further in my investigation.
Okay.
But I tried.
So in other words, this is kind of the end of the investigation here?
Fuck no.
Okay.
We got plenty to go.
Jesus, okay, all right.
So a couple weeks ago, I got a wild hair up my ass, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try again. And I dig, and I dig, and I look, and I look. I managed to track down Red Priest.
What? How?
Don't worry about it. I managed to track down Red Priest.
All right, we're talking...
Now, first and foremost, I'm clarifying this, because of the level of, you know, where fan fiction has been in the past few decades, one of the reasons they stopped being Red Priest was because people are assholes.
Okay.
So they politely requested I do not share their current contact information or anything.
Right, okay, that's fair. Yeah.
So, but I managed to track them down. And I talked to them. I was like, "Were you Red Priest?" And they're like, "Yes."
Like, who wants to know?
Yeah.
Who wants to know?
Very much.
Yeah.
Who wants to know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to talk about Leopold Geenitz. Oh, God!
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, all right. Let's talk. What's going on? Where the fuck did you get this from? Like, is this you, or did you get it from something? I got it from something.
Oh,
okay.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, damn.
How what? Manhua! All right. It was either KOF Zillion, or it was like the 98 arc. It was the one where like Rugel's going back in time and Vice is a werecat.
Okay, before you talk about this, please tell me that Red Priest was so incredibly amused by this conversation.
Dude, they were still like there's more to the story, all right?
Okay.
But long story short, eventually they asked me like, what the hell is like your obsession with this? Like, why is this going on now? And I'm like, it's proliferated so fucking hard and nobody knows where it came from. And I fucking love Geenits, so it's kind of become my personal mission to try to sort this out.
Okay. And yeah, so what the hell is this?
This is the KOF 98 manhwa, with the first page up there. It's just 4 random pages that are more or less in order of Geenits ripping out Rugal's eye and him reminiscing about it and them arguing about it. And then, yeah, for some reason, Vice can shapeshift into a fucking panther.
Okay, so...
That's Vice.
Right.
That's Vice.
Who's this?
That's Shingo.
It is Shingo,
Yeah,
okay.
because reasons.
Because Shingo also looks like he's like 29 in this picture, right?
Welcome to the manhwa art.
Yeah, okay.
If she needs that, yeah,
Dude,
sure, why not?
if they ever add her and give her that as an alternate costume, that would be the deepest lore in the world.
So obscure. But like I said, you know, officially licensed.
So this whole time, Rugal's Panther was Vice and mature. The whole time.
Rodem was actually Vice. Yeah. But fun fact, this didn't pan out. I read through all of these fucking issues, looking for every single time Geenits' name is mentioned. And before his name, every time is... Basically, it's Geenits of the Wild Wind or Violent Storm or something to that effect. Which I'm going to pronounce it badly, and you're going to give me a little bit of help because you're better about it. Baofeng.
Feng. Like F-O-N-G, almost. Like, as close to... it's closer to O. Feng. And of course, I mean, if you really want to try to pronounce it, you have to make sure you have the intonation.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I don't know what bao means, but now I want to look it up. I just want to look up what that means. Go ahead and keep going. I'll try to do it on my phone.
And I reached out to other people who had better linguistic skills than I do and did more digging. And basically, for him to be Leopold Geenitz, this one at the bottom right is basically what it would have to be, which is like... Leopoldo something to that effect, which literally just is going to phonetically be Leopold.
Right.
I don't know fucking anything about Chinese. Let's be abundantly clear here. But I have not seen any instance of this Leopold Geenits in any of the translations.
So in other words, this whole thing, Bao Feng just means storm. That's what it is. Bao Feng is all it is. Okay. It just means storm. Literally.
Or, like explosive weather? Oh, sudden and violent, or, yeah.
Yeah. Bao Feng is just literally translates to storm.
Yeah.
Bao is violent. So it's basically violent wind. So
look at the screen, James.
Yeah. What I'm just trying to explain to people, right now is that although the words themselves translate into violent and wind, the way Chinese works, like for example, computer is 电脑, which means electric brain. Mm-hmm. But you don't translate it to electric brain. 电脑is just translated to computer. So there you go. So there you go.
Leopold, I swear to God, is just going to become a meme on the channel eventually. just randomly walk in, Leopold.
The hardest thing about it is, like, you didn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? So one of the characters there is named Leopold Fitz, and so that's, like, all I keep hearing in my head.
So anyways, so this became a pseudo-dead end.
Right.
So I was like, hey, Red Priest.
So the entire manhwa was available on the internet,
in Chinese only.
Right. But that's even still valuable because now you know what the exact original says, right?
Yeah. Trying to dig for any matches to these characters.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, Red Priest. If there was ever an English scanlation of it, it doesn't exist anymore. Do you have any idea if you have any backups or where you read it? And they were like, oh, actually, no, that's a good point. It was on Fansite. There was one of the King of Fighters fan sites back then that was posting like translations and story synopses and stuff.
Shit.
And I was like, okay, digging.
Okay. One, that's pretty fucking good memory on his part, dude. Shout outs to Red Priest.
Dude, helping out. Like, this is 20 plus years ago, and like stuff's clicking randomly, like hitting your brain with the time machine kind of thing. And so I was like, it was like KOF fans or something, I don't know. Okay, so I started digging, and I was like, oh man, I remember this site. This is bringing back memories. And lo and behold, Flashy Flash got it. It's KOF Online.
Wow, Flashy Flash actually knows exactly what it is. Holy crap.
Apparently, Red Priest got Leopold from somewhere on KOF Online. Now, depending on when you visited this site, this version may look familiar, this version may look familiar, who knows? But this is me digging up stuff from the Internet Archive. Not everything is actually backed up. It doesn't exist anymore.
Shit.
Not everything is saved in snapshots.
You are actually using the Internet Archive for this? Holy
unavoidable.
crap.
I mean, look at the dead Flash player.
Yeah, okay.
And eventually, they stopped supporting the site, and then came back during KOF 12 to create a little WordPress page.
Right, yeah, because they're like, oh my gosh, it's all rebooting now. You know?
I mean, there's a whole article about, like, how I came back. You know, like, what am I doing? Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, back in the day, this page actually had, like, if you look on the right there, KOF zillion translations and stuff, and it's a bunch of story synopses. Like, basically, it's posting the original pages and then just trying to write down everything that's occurring.
Okay.
But because not everything is in any of the snapshots, it's not all there. Not everything is fully visible.
Right, of course.
And so I spent like 6 hours trying to dig through all of those archives on the Internet Archive, and I still couldn't fucking find it. But I'm not going to bother Red Priest anymore. They gave me all the information that they really can.
Right, yeah.
And I really appreciate everything that went into this.
Right.
So right now, I am at an impasse because I need to talk to Vincent Chua. the one who ran KOF Online. Their username is still SG Wave Surfer, but they haven't used their Twitter in approximately 5 years. And Reddit doesn't have a fucking DM system.
Right.
But they're still playing games, mostly mobile games, including games by Netmarble, which is really funny, like coming full circle. But they're still around in some capacity. Like, I mean, you're an adult, you have kids, you know, they can't dedicate as much time to fandom, I get that. But
of course.
If you see this, please reach out to me, because I feel like I'm this close to actually finding the bottom of this. Because, okay, by the way, SG is Singapore.
Oh.
And so I find it odd that an English speaker in Singapore would mistranslate something from Chinese.
Right. Yeah.
But it seems like this is like at least the last bracket I can get to.
I would imagine a lot of that stuff that's in there too would also be user contributed, right? So
apparently almost all of it was only done by 2 or 3 people. Him,
really?
His girlfriend at the time, who I don't know if that's who he married or not, and like maybe one other person. It was a very small site in terms of contributors.
Jesus.
But it was a lot of people sharing stuff in the forums, which the forums aren't backed up for shit.
Right, yeah,
I tried.
Of course.
And even so, this still doesn't completely narrow down how the fuck it got into the English manhwa.
Right.
The SVC Chaos one.
Right.
But if we can figure out this, and if we figure out that this is what led to Fighters Generation, and if Fighters Generation then went to the manhwa, or if the fans were reading in the KOF communities and went to the manhwa, like, at least that would make a lot more sense, because KOF Online is probably the last line of defense to where the name came from. I need to talk to Vincent. But this is where we're at.
Okay.
This is where we're at.
Jesus. Okay. So literally, King of Fighters Online is pretty much where Red Priest got it from, is what he said, right?
That is what they said.
Okay, so Red Priest got it from KOF Online. And KOF Online, you're assuming that whole translation section there where they were...
one of them somehow managed to pop it in there in some capacity from one of the random manhwas.
Jesus.
Months of digging, handfuls of interviews, reaching out to more people. I can't
believe you even got this far with this info. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, this is really becoming your white whale, because, like, seriously, this is way more information than I feel like you probably even bargained for at this point, right? You're probably just like, it'll just be this fun little trip, you know.
Some one guy is gonna know, but it turns into like this whole deep spiraling staircase of information.
Jesus.
And basically also just showing, though, how important the Internet Archive is.
Right.
Because even with how much has been lost, I still managed to get a bunch of like really cool old things and old history, things I had forgotten about.
Right.
I mean, just looking at like the cosplayer photos, the like 2 or 3 that are still backed up, you know, just like flashbacks.
Dude, that site probably had a bunch of Kitty's cosplays on
probably,
there.
I don't know. I'm sure at least at one of Kitty's old My cosplays eventually was on there.
Yeah, exactly. God, and this is also a time capsule as well, because at this point in time, this was the internet. Yeah. Everything was like, oh, we're gonna become blog WordPress. I mean,
honestly,
blog.
Just seeing the KOF 12 logo and treating KOF 12 as a new game is already like throwing me back in a time warp.
KOF 12 was a big deal when it came out, because it was like, we're finally getting new sprites. And like, it was such a big deal when it came out.
I'm just gonna read Cone's post right here, now.
Okay.
Sometimes fake news becomes real news. 1, someone makes something up. 2, a sketchy air quotes news site picks it up. 3, a mainstream news site fails to check references and publishes that off of the sketchy site. Now 4, 12 other news sites quote it from 3.
Yeah.
And now 5, there are dozens of reputable sources for the fake fact.
Yeah.
And this happens a lot, especially, again, this is the whole point of this presentation, really.
Right.
Is in the 90s it was even worse because we had no way to verify.
There's no internet back then.
Or the internet was in its infancy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and so, you know, talking with Red Priest, they mentioned that, like, reading this, like, the first thing they said was, oh, I mean, that's his canon first name. And I'm like, no. Because the manhwas aren't canon, because they're fucking insane.
Right, yeah,
and they're like, all this makes sense now. And so it turned into this thing. And I don't know how it happened, but this, like, really ignited, like, a journalistic spirit I didn't know I had.
Yeah.
And so here we are. So it's not done, but damn if I didn't put a dent in it.
I mean, the craziest thing about this, too, is just, like, I don't know, it's just, like, you feel like, I mean, this happens in so much fandom out there, right? So much fandom, it gets obfuscated because people love stuff so much, right? That everybody wants to write stories for it. So, I mean, like, for example, I mean, this is totally kind of leaping off the topic, but just kind of getting into it. You know, we talked about the Star Wars books before, now they're the legends, right? Because now they're not real or whatever like that. But because of the fandom that exists out there, there's like 3 authors who wrote how Boba Fett escaped from the Sarlacc pit, right? But because all the books were canon, they actually explained it that he made it out of the Sarlacc pit and then fell back in. And then made it out of the Sarlacc pit and then fell back in and then made it out of the... So all 3 of them were like canon.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the hardest part about fandom is everyone wants to write about these things and they'll do it their own way. You know, and so we just end up with this complete, absolute, like,
twisted mess
of everything. So, like you said, like, it's so crazy to me that, you know, you brought up the Cammy White thing because it's just been that forever, right? And the fact that Capcom doesn't even just accept that as canon now is crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, again, one of the other cases in point, after talking with some of the other people in the fandom, especially, I'm just going to say it out loud, Azzy, the Adelheid fan, is probably the only person I know in the KOF fandom who is more obsessed with hardcore lore and having it right than I am. And we got to talk, and then she was like, yeah, like the whole thing about Vanessa's husband.
Oh.
The fact that everyone believes Vanessa's husband is dead, myself included, all spiraled out of course from one guy making an offhanded remark in a forum. It's like, oh, I guess this is what happened. And people just ran with it. And it became so proliferated. And I'm going to let her tell that story because it's not my story to tell, really. But, like, this is a thing. Like, because, again, KOF is also so much more limited in the West that anybody says anything and it's remotely viable, it's going to be accepted into the population.
Yeah, because also fandom is just going to be like, oh, I didn't know that. That's so cool, you know? And that's
I mean,
it.
Case in point, when I talked about Ramon's heterochromia. That has never been canonically published in any capacity, apparently. What it came from was an interview with the author who was in charge of Canon, talked about it.
But wait, I mean, you should be able to see that in-game, in headshots and stuff, right?
But he has an eye patch.
Of course. Duh. You're right. Okay, fair.
Yeah, he's always got the eye patch on, and so there's no way to observe it in game.
Right. Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think they even bothered with it on the character model in 15, but I don't know.
We should
believe it or not, I don't know.
We should check, actually.
But yeah, it was apparently the author who was like the most respected author in KOF lore, especially during like the 2000s. Actually talked about it, but was never apparently published. Apparently. This is a Twitter conversation that's happened in the past few months.
Right.
And so I took it as this weird, obscure canon thing that I knew. And it's in that fuzzy area where the person in charge of canon said it, but it was never published. So is it canon?
Right. Yeah. Now we're reaching that point where because someone says it's canon, but if it's never published, is it canon? Because it can be erased, and we've seen that happen even with stuff that has been published, like the Star Wars stuff.
At least we do know for sure that there's nothing wrong with his eye. We got that far in KOF 15. There is nothing wrong with Ramon's eye.
Oh, really?
And so that's good.
So he just has an eye patch just because it's cool looking?
The running gag is that it's his power limiter, because otherwise he's too powerful, so he uses it as a handicap. That's his, like, showman piece.
Dude, if that's the running theory...
It's not a theory.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, he talks about it, like, once, I think, and then Angel's win quote against him is, when are you going to take off that eye patch and fight me seriously?
Are you serious? So, since he sucks in the game...
Not anymore.
Well, not anymore, but, like, that's what they should have did when they buffed him, is they should have also taken off the eye patch, dude. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been fucking gold.
That would have been hilarious, dude. Yeah,
okay.
and then Flashy Fascist, let's start a rumor that Ramon has Rugal's eye.
I mean, the running gag that me and my buddies had was that Hydron took his eye for no reason, just to pay it forward.
Oh, man.
By the way, Flash, you asked me if I contacted the writer. Which writer? Are we talking Red Priest or are we talking Vincent? Because or someone else. Because there's a lot. I don't know. Anyways, the presentation isn't over though. Believe it or not.
Of course.
Just this chapter. This is where we are at in this chapter. So
at least this is where we are at the end of hunting for where Leopold comes from.
At the moment.
Yes.
I have no way to reach out to Andy Sato. And the thing is, I can't even confirm that Andy Sato is the one who wrote The Problem originally. Because there are like 3 or 4 different manhwa authors in that era. It may not be Andy.
Right. But because like, that's why I pointed out the translators in that picture, right? Because obviously they're the ones who wrote Leopold in there.
Yeah. And so, again, I can't find out until I get to talk to even like the editor
at
the time. And so I'm just waiting on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I mean, I literally, honestly, might just pay for LinkedIn for a month so that I can send them a message and be like, "Hey, any chance you remember any of this?"
Jesus Christ! He'll probably have the Red Priest reaction too, of like, "Wait, what is happening here?"
Yeah. But this is where I've gotten, and I'm pretty proud of where I'm at, but I'm not finished.
Okay.
I will get to the point that a wiki will quote me and be like, we kind of know now that this is wrong and this is why. I will be a source.
Right.
But anyways, I promised you the 5 W's and an H, right? So, when is Geenits?
Okay.
So KOF 96, he's the boss. All right, cool.
Right.
98, banned. 2000.
What do you mean by banned?
He's playable, and he's tournament banned.
So he has always just been playable in 98, straight up. Oh, Oomphy. Okay.
Not vanilla 98.
Because
he is a corpse in 98. Remember, he's in the background of Rugal's stage.
I know. I'm just trying to think right now, because, like, has he ever been playable in the arcade?
Maybe.
Because
so wait. Let me get to the rest of this. You'll see it. Okay. 98 Oomphy banned. Cool. 2000, he's a striker only. That's kind of neat. 2002, home PlayStation version. He's in it. And that's where I actually fell in love with him originally. Banned. Console exclusive. O2UM. Banned.
So
SVC Chaos. He is fully playable.
Okay.
But why?
in Oomphy and UM, they just decided to let you play him, but they didn't balance him at all.
I mean, most of the boss characters are fucked in those games. Just outright fucked. The O2 console version is mostly SVC. That is correct, yes.
Because here's the reason why that confuses me is because I'm not familiar with Geenits, right? And then when I started seeing it, I was like, wait, I definitely know this character. I've seen him before. And I distinctly remember at the UCLA arcade, someone using him and trying to do combos with him.
Could have been SVC Chaos, or you had a hacked bootleg cart.
Right, or my memory is just faulty because I'm an old man, and it was probably them trying to beat Geenits as a boss or something.
I mean, did you have 96?
For sure.
There you go.
Yeah,
It could be.
Yeah,
bootleg O2s were hilarious.
Because the thing is, I left the UCL arcade before O2 even happened. So I remember I graduated.
I mean, it could have been like a hacked 98 then.
Yeah,
that could be
something.
But yeah, I mean, if it was before O2, then it was before Chaos too.
Okay.
So
I don't think we had any crazy hacked versions of any game. So I think it's just more my memory of seeing someone fight him as a boss.
Maybe.
Okay.
And then KOF 15, maybe. He at least has a cameo in the Orochi team's ending.
Okay.
In like the Awakened Orochi team ending.
Okay. Now, is it confirmed that he was brought back to life?
Oh yeah, he's clearly alive.
Oh, he is
clearly alive.
Okay.
Remember, also the Awakened Orochi team, their intro story is just Geenits on the phone with Yashiro. That's the whole story.
Oh, okay. And so was that story of just like Geenits being like, what the fuck, like, why am I back kind of thing, or?
No, he's just casually like, yes, yeah, you should do that. Yeah. No, I'm just chilling. I think I've got some people watching me. That's fun. Like, he just doesn't give a shit. Because he's fucking Geenits.
So is this one of the reasons why you're like so like personally confident that he could come in as a boss rush character because brought him back to life? And
because he is one of the most teased characters that's not in the game, like by far.
Okay. Because a lot of the endings talk about him and stuff like that.
A couple do, plus the story's introing to him, and more to a point too is that other characters that would have had a chance of being the boss rush character have not been teased in the slightest.
Oh, right.
Like, a lot of people are hoping for Chrysalid. Chrysalid isn't even discussed.
Right. And Chrysalid is from
the 98 or 99 final boss.
99. That's what I was about to say. He's from the Nest Saga,
yes.
right? So, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's just fucking chilling. I love the Awakened Orochi story. This is just Geenits just chilling in a park. It's so great. I think he's got the best odds. I really do.
Okay.
But
again,
again,
I remember you've always been saying, like, I feel like Geenits coming, and I never understood why. Now I understand why.
Yeah, and I mean, because the only other option really is Adelheid.
Right.
And I don't think he's getting in this year. Right. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other things too that point to kind of further evidence in this, but basically the only reason it wouldn't be Geenits outright is because they don't want to do Orochi Saga Boss Rush, and I really don't think they care.
Yeah.
So
we know it's not gonna be Psyche or anyone from the Ash Saga. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, because they'd have to admit that fucking saga exists.
I know, right? God.
Yeah, because again, I've talked about it before, but
was he broken in SVC Chaos?
Fuck no.
Oh, okay,
no.
okay.
I'm just gonna bring back one of my favorite stories of all time, and I think I've talked about it before. Is back when SVC Chaos was being played in the slightest, some of the highest level players in the fighting game community in that side of the house were asked to make a tier list for SVC Chaos.
Okay.
And the first thing they did was laugh for 5 minutes straight. They then proceeded to actually make a tier list.
Okay. Because it's one of the most busted games.
So broken. Like, literally, the tier list is literally like broken, and finally gets to, like, Tessa, the best character in the game who isn't completely fucking broken.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it started off with what? Geese, because he had the stupid brain dead infinite.
Geese and Zero
who had
both
the other
have
one.
childish infinites.
Yeah, it was Tiger Knee DP, Tiger Knee DP, Tiger Knee DP.
Yeah.
And then
Geese
was Fierce Roundhouse, Fierce Roundhouse.
And I think it had to be a cross-up hit. I think was about its only stipulation.
Okay.
Because SNK and turnaround infinites are always a thing.
Right, okay.
Violent Ken actually, I think, outclassed one of them. Like, he didn't have infinites, but he had touch of death anyway, so it didn't fucking matter.
Okay.
And there were a couple other characters that were, like, way up there at, like, near the Geese tier, just because it didn't matter that they didn't have an infinite.
Right.
Because they just won neutral and everything else. Yeah, basically, Geenits is totally fair in that game because everyone is so broken that he's not even that good. Yeah. Also, just friendly reminder that Geenits is still to this day regarded as one of the most PTSD-inducing bosses in KOF.
Right.
He is way up there because, first off, he's a zoner, and you never want a zoner boss, and you know what SNK loves doing? Having zoner bosses.
Right.
But just in case, they gave him a command grab super and infinite meter.
Fair enough.
Yeah, good times. I love this guy. And there's one more.
And so he's basically considered the hardest boss of KOF history, maybe?
He's on the list. It very much starts depending on who you ask and how much you know how to cheese shit.
Right.
Because KOF 11's final boss is fucking bullshit. But if you can gimmick certain things, it's manageable.
Right.
Also, KOF 11 is KOF 11.
Right. Because it's one of those...
2001 is horrific if you really aren't fully prepared.
Right. Because it's just one of those things that, I mean, that's the nature of these arcade games, right? Like, these bosses can be bullshit, but as soon as you learn the patterns, then you can eventually win.
I'd say he's still like top 3.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing is that Ignis has a lot of critical flaws that are actually childish as fuck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a matter of Geenits is at least pretty consistently difficult. Like, even if you know what you're doing, he's not free.
Right.
But even if you abuse everything, like, he's still probably gonna hit you.
Right. Because I mean, there's some bosses that are just designed to, you can't beat him unless you just get the happy RNG that he doesn't decide to kill you, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah. Magaki is way up there. KOF 11's final boss, because he's one of those bosses that, like, he is actually horrifically broken. It's just not that the AI isn't good enough to always keep him broken. Another one that always amused me is Marvel vs. Capcom 1's final boss is technically unbeatable, but the AI will never do it.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
I mean, I've broke, like, just because of my programming nature. This is even before I was a programmer and stuff. What's up?
Magaki has a Winamp plugin super. That is kind of what it looks like. It's one of the, like, the full screen Orochi Magic bullshit supers, but the graphics on it does look like something out of Winamp. It's phenomenal.
Because M. Bison in the original Street Fighter 2,
total bullshit.
You know, his scissor kick was standing roundhouse.
Yeah.
It was just standing roundhouse. It didn't do any chip, right? The thing about it was a true combo. It was an infinite combo or an infinite block string by itself.
Yep, get fucked.
Roundhouse. So he can just scissor kick.
Yep, sounds right.
Yeah.
And then another case is also 15's boss is fucking worthless. But that's the AI's fault. That character's actually fucking broken.
Right, yeah.
Super fucking broken. Like, what is that, like a 5-frame full screen wall bounce? Like, what?
I mean, then there's, like, Magneto in Children of the Atom.
Yeah.
Where literally he just turns himself invincible. Like, that's one of his moves.
Get fucked. Yep.
And you know what? If he was used by a human, he would turn himself invincible, build a bunch of meter, turn himself invincible, build a bunch of...
What do you do? Nothing. Yeah, exactly. Otoma Raga would be really good if the AI was ready for it. And that's the thing, like, that's why you have, like, 98 Rugal and the PTSD from that. It's just because that's the best DP in the game, and the AI will use it.
And read your inputs with it, too, right?
Yeah, and that's, like, why the boss rush Rugal is fun. He's going to input read and will DP.
Right.
But that's, like, all he has is he's super broken, but his AI only has that going for it.
Right.
It's kind of a shame. But, of course, we have one more.
How is Geenits?
Fine, thanks for asking.
Fair.
Gonna be a little cheeky. Alright, so I do have one final slide before we're about to wrap it up.
Okay.
And this is going to be one of those, if you like Geenits, like I like Geenits, what are other characters that kind of fit in his mold that you are probably also going to be like, yeah, I do like them? Okay. Or if you like those characters, you come back to like, oh, if Geenits is like these guys, I probably do like Geenits.
And this is not from a, like, this is how they play.
Yeah, not a moveless thing, not even an aesthetic thing necessarily, but one of them kind of is. It's more the personality, the development,
right?
Who they are.
If you like this character, then you probably like Geenits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you like Geenits in the story sense, you probably think Jetta's fucking awesome. I know I do, and he definitely has those things. Really powerful, a schemer, zealous. Like, he checks all those boxes. And if you're a big fucking weeb like myself, Poochie, the main villain from JoJo's Part 6, is very much in that same, like, bracket of crazy powerful, zealous, scheming, and fucking he wins. And then to a lesser degree, like, these are the borderline ones, but you probably like Magneto.
Right.
Magneto's fucking awesome. And Light Yagami from Death Note is very much the powerful, scheming, zealous, and I just think these are very compelling characters.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I would say I dislike Light Yagami. He's a fucking douche. He needed to be curb stomped. I mean, but he's compelling.
Dude, don't get me started on Light Yagami, dude. Like, cause like I really like the Death Note cartoon. Mm-hmm. Of course, it falls apart towards the end, in my opinion, or whatever. Did you ever see the live action version, the live action movie that they produced in Japan?
I saw 2 of them.
Both of them, right? The first and the second one.
Yeah, I haven't seen the third one.
Oh, the third one, yeah, that
Doesn't
one,
matter,
yeah.
yeah.
That one doesn't matter. No, but the adaptation of the anime,
yeah.
that ending is so much better.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that, I think.
Yeah, it's because the entirety of Death Note has one fatal flaw, and it's when something fatal happens to the best fucking character.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a whole fucking... You know, it's fucking...
no
it's been-
spoilers,
it's
no
been
spoilers.
15 fucking
yeah,
years, whatever.
I know, right?
Losing L is the worst thing that happens to that whole franchise.
Yeah,
Just outright.
I mean, again, like, that show fell apart because, honestly, L needed to win for the show.
I would have settled for a tie.
Oh, right, or something like that. Yeah,
That
Light can't win.
Yeah, having him lose immediately lost all tension because you stopped caring if Light was gonna win.
Yeah,
You stopped caring, and so the follow up characters, Nier and Mello, nobody fucking cares.
Yeah,
and even if you did care, it wasn't the same tension because you didn't
Yeah.
have those fucking 30 whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Good God, Seiryu.
You know what? I'm gonna let you have that.
Good God, Seiryu. Good God.
And so, like, literally, the moment that happens, you could skip the entire rest of the series until the last episode just to watch Light die, and you're good. Whatever. Fuck
Yeah, because honestly,
Fuck it.
as soon as that happened, because, like, you know, Jason told me all about it, right? He was the big fan. But then after we finished watching, he was like, the movie's actually kind of better.
Yeah.
And then we watched the movie, and I was just like, why is this so much? Because also the way that he outsmarts Light is just...
It's so good. There's so much better choices.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because the thing
chef's
is,
kiss.
it's worth noting that I think it was the number was literally around half of the Death Note fans literally quit watching when L died. Yeah, it was a huge fucking debacle.
Yeah.
So
I
making
gotta
the
imagine.
movie better, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this concludes the actual presentation, which leads me to the final slide of special thanks to basically everyone who was involved with this project and all the research, conversations, photos, extra digging. And if there's someone I forgot, I'm sorry, but like I really tried to get everyone who I know like was any part of this. So thanks to Frank Yagami of Fighter's Generation, the author formerly known as Red Priest.
I still can't believe you got in contact with him and he remembered that much, dude. Like, that must have been... I just gotta, like, coming from his standpoint, like, someone just coming out of the fucking nowhere and just being like, hey, can we talk about Leopold Geenitz? Would have been probably, like, the biggest...
oh, dear God.
Like,
What the...
20... Like, he's already, like... family, probably, like, whatever, he's moved on in his life, like, he's just like a, you know, he just sits there and fixes cars for a living now, and then someone's like, we need you back in the field, you know? I've left that life long ago.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
So then, obviously, Azzy. I love Azzy. And all her great work in all the crazy lore stuff.
What does she do?
The Adelheid fan that is obsessed with lore, perhaps more than I am.
Okay.
We ended up talking about digging into some of this rumor mill stuff and figuring out. Meow Neko helped me out with some of the Chinese transliteration because I'm terrible at it and they have a bit more experience. Torrance for like the screenshots and photos of the manhwas and stuff. And just generally cool, dude. Yeah. Investigation Code, need I say more?
Yeah, the Google Foo Master.
The Wayback Machine and Internet Archive for existing.
Right.
We love you. And various wikis around the world in multiple languages because, oh dear God. Like, dude, people in China don't know where it came from. Like, nobody knows how this happened.
Dude, you know
hearing
what?
these international discussions about, what about Leopold? That's not real.
Dude,
in every language.
I'm telling you right now, if this was a movie right now, we'd be like, thanks for watching this. And then you'd see the screen fade to black, and it comes back, and it's like 2037. And you see you walk up, right? And you're like in China, like you see like all China, and like someone's like, you know, you walk up to someone like, do you know about this? And the guy speaks to you in Chinese, and then you start speaking back in perfect Chinese, you know? Like, that's how far this is gonna have gone, I swear.
I mean, I'm thinking about even like Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Right? It's gonna turn out you've learned like 7 languages just to figure out what's going on, dude. Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
So months and weeks and months of digging, but I just really wanted to also just give big thanks to everyone involved for helping me get this far.
Oh my god, dude.
We credit people in this house.
That's absolutely insanity, dude. Like, the fact that you even got this far, like, I would have given up, like, at step. I mean, I probably wouldn't have given up. I just would have gotten distracted, and that would have been the end of it, basically. So
art is never finished; it is simply abandoned.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
No.
What is APA?
The academic format for all citations.
Oh,
and
yeah.
No.
I forgot, was LeBron the one that said he liked SVC Chaos, or was it Battle Coliseum?
No, it was Neo Wave.
Neo Wave, that's what it was. Okay, yeah. Oh, God,
the cup.
Yeah,
the legendary cup.
The legendary cup. This was from Investigation Cone. He literally had a friend who made these things, and he made this for me. And I'll tell you right now.
Oh, fuck. I dropped my lid.
Oh, okay. Whatever. The lore behind this thing, honestly, like, now, thanks to this, I drink way more water than I've ever drank before in my life, which is really, really good, honestly. So, oh man.
I mean, at least you're aware.
Oh man. Well, there you go. No, I think he means ironically.
I'm pretty sure it's both. Actually, it's certainly both.
Oh man. So the funny, you know what, you needed one more slide in the presentation that just says the end ? Like the end ? Fades in, because we don't know.
Actually, can I want to have like just one thing as just with this splash image. I need the control again.
Oh yeah, that's right. Where's the mouse? There it is.
I'm proud of some of these slides, by the way. That's my favorite one.
Everything is Geenits' fault. Yeah, I mean, again, he triggered everything. I mean, the crazy thing about it is, I mean, obviously the Orochi saga is such a big deal in 15, right? Because, like, that's kind of a driving force behind everything.
And it's kicking more things.
Right, and not only that, but the verse saga, is that what people are calling it right now?
Like Shune Saga or verse, whichever.
The verse saga feels like an excuse to bring back everything Orochi. Honestly,
among
right?
other things,
yeah,
because that's the thing is that it's one of those that most of the characters that were like critical in Orochi Saga, etc., they died,
right?
Like, but most of the other sagas don't have that much death,
right? Probably because they were learning, like, oh, we shouldn't kill everybody,
Yeah, they learned the lesson that Punisher still hasn't. Or Marvel in general, actually.
Right,
I still actually haven't forgiven Black Panther 1 for killing 2 of Panther's biggest villains.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah,
what
yeah,
the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, one of the funniest things though is that, gosh, like on my Facebook, I don't know how. It's probably because I'm such an MCU fanatic, right? But Facebook caters their all their non-friends stuff on your wall to be what you're interested in. I get comic pages on my thing all the time, and I swear to God, every page, in this one, Batman dies, in this one, Captain America dies, in this one, dude, so many characters have died so many millions of times in comics, and it's just like...
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things, like, they either die and they come back, or it's just a scary page to hook you, and then they're just hospitalized for a while.
Right. Or they wanted to kill him for the impact of them dying, but then later on they just come up with the lamest excuse possible to bring him back alive.
Dude,
right?
They literally killed Superman just to try to drive up sales.
Yeah,
literally. Not emotional impact, not concern. It was to drive up sales.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of Civil War...
Doombot Scroll or Life Model Decoy.
Yeah, because Captain America dying was one of the big ones at the end of Civil War. That was supposed to be the big...
And it was super cool at the time.
Right, yeah. But then they were like, let's bring Captain America back.
Yeah,
and here he is. So,
no,
I mean, like, what is it? Like, it's so much to the point that, I mean, obviously, spoilers of Multiverse of Madness or whatever like that, Elizabeth Olsen has already been like, bring me back. Like, I want to be back in there. Like, there's not even like this thought process like, oh, your character's dead, you're done with the MCU. It's more like, oh, bring me back. I want to come back. You know, even if you are dead, right? So,
I mean, in all fairness, like, with the ending of that movie,
yeah,
I've not been convinced that she was dead anyway.
Exactly.
So.
There's no point. Yeah.
Gwen oh, yeah, dude. No, we love Shoryu Game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, he does mostly really good work, and I like a lot of his opinion pieces.
Yeah, I mean, what are they? Is it? It's only Ben right now, Uncle Ben, who's the only one that's really stayed dead, except for one like what if kind of thing. He came back or something, right? So
I think there was also one of the other employees of Daily Bugle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, Spider-Man's the only one who's allowed to have people stay dead.
Yeah. Oh, Batman's parents, although they came back in Flashpoint, but that doesn't count. So
yeah, I mean that's also DC. Like you got to carry both of those differently.
Right.
Regardless of their joint copyright bullshit.
Wait, do they have a what's the joint copyright thing?
Marvel and DC own, I don't know if they're still together, but I know for like 50 some odd years, they had a joint copyright on the term superheroes.
Oh.
They owned the rights to the word superhero.
Weird.
So, in Image Comics, you would get the term superpowered being. That's why you get you get like in The Boys they call them soups. And what was it? It was the other one about superheroes in Image that was like crime drama by Bendis. They just called them capes.
Okay,
and stuff like
gotcha,
that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so Image had to come up with a bunch of new words for superhero and superpowered character because Marvel and DC had a joint copyright on the word superhero.
Yeah, this is why David hates copyrights and stuff like that, right? I mean, the fact that you can't write, like no restaurant can write, come watch the Super Bowl at our restaurant. It always has to be, come watch the big game.
I can't believe it's only 15.
Jean Grey. Oh, man.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a whole thing, and I think it might still be true, but yeah, it's on the list of things I wouldn't mind talking about at length sometime, but I need to verify if it's still true or if someone actually overturned it finally, but it was the thing for the longest time. You had to be really careful about it.
Right.
And I think like some of the writing in The Boys is there deliberately to make fun of it.
Right, okay.
Like they have an argument over whether they can call them supervillains or not.
Oh.
In the show. And I was like,
that's funny. Okay,
yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, that, I mean, Droid is one that's, you know, copyrighted by Lucasfilm. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the phones got fucked for it.
Oh,
Droid
that's right.
phones.
Yeah. But that's why they're called Android phones now, right?
No, Droid was its own specific brand on top of it.
Oh, that's right. That was the one with the little orange guy, right? Yeah.
And then like the little like red eye laser, like I can't let you do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, after the first year or so, they had to start saying the word droid is copyright Lucasfilm, blah blah blah. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah. There's so much of that out there, you know. I mean.
Yeah, actually, Psylocke stayed dead among the longest of all X-Men.
Let's not even get started on what, you know, you had to do with Yomi Hustle, that game that was on Steam, right? So, it's called, like, Your Only Move is Hustle now. That's the new name of it, because
someone we know...
Sirloin,
David Sirloin.
Yeah, was like, you can't use the word Yomi in the title of your game.
Okay, now, in all fairness, don't forget that Candy Crush company King... Mm-hmm. tried to sue every single game in the world that had the word Saga.
Yeah.
Because they have Candy Crush Saga and they thought they had a monopoly on the word Saga.
Yeah.
They tried to sue almost every game that had the word Saga.
Yeah, it's so stupid how this kind of stuff is happening. Well, Yomi Hustle, Your Only Move is Hustle, to be fair, was, I think they worked with the Sirloin group to come up with that name or something like that. So just as long as it wasn't called Yomi.
That's right. Edge also. I forgot about that guy.
There was a guy who had a copyright for the word edge.
Yeah, so to some capacities we tried to sue games that use the word edge or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
a few of them.
I mean, it's interesting because like someone actually talked to me about that before because, you know, Michael Buffer, you know, let's get ready to rumble. That guy, right? Like, that's copyrighted to him now. That sentence is copyrighted to him. Nobody can say, let's get ready to rumble in a like sports kind of capacity. Someone actually was talking to me one time. They're like, you should do that to some of your catchphrases for the context of fighting games and stuff like that. And I was like, no, I don't care.
I mean, I take it back. I think you maybe should consider it just to make sure it stays public domain, basically, to make sure that no one else can.
Yeah, that's true. Like She-Hulk perfume. Right?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to let you have that one.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, is it going to kill, right? Like, is like...
Exactly.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. So...
Yeah, and there's a couple. Also, as a worse one, the SCP Foundation. They're the like, basically the biggest site on the internet for creepypasta. It's a whole, like, canon of, like, creepypasta stuff. It's fucking great.
Oh, God.
Some fucking asshole in Russia bought up all the copyright and licensing for SCP in Russia, and then started basically trying to sue everyone else for having it on the internet,
geez.
because he got like a local copyright on it.
Right.
So he became the Russian owner of SCP, and so he tried to take down the rest of the world on it. It's absolute garbage.
I wonder if I can copyright "Suck My Nuts, Assholes." Like, I wonder. If
I don't know about "Suck My Nuts, Assholes," but definitely like, is it gonna kill?
Yeah,
as like a thing you could be.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I mean, like, and I love the metal plate is a group thing.
Because, of course, Suck My Nuts... I mean, not Suck My Nuts, Assholes. The Is It Gonna Kill thing. That's why at EVO they called it Will It Kill. And then that's what Sajam took it over. And now everyone thinks it's Will It Kill. And I've never said that before. Yeah. Except for... No, I've always said, like, is this gonna kill? Like, that's how I've always said it, so... Yeah, Michael Buffer, I think is his name. Let's get ready to rumble.
Which makes you wonder if the Dreamcast boxing game Ready to Rumble actually licensed any of that, or if it's legally safe.
Oh, yeah, it's because they just didn't put Let's Get Ready, or Let's Get.
And it was Ready to Rumble.
Yeah.
So. I wonder.
Yeah,
because that's the thing, like, the legally safe windows on those are hilarious.
Yeah.
They're so good.
I mean, because, like, I forgot who. I think
Gigo is a whole other thing.
I was talking to David about this. I think it was, or somebody, because when
Geenits should copyright Coco Deska.
when the Wii came out, and they came out with the amiibos, right? Like, someone was like, why would you not have called them amigos? Because they're like your little friends that you take everywhere. And I think it was David or someone who mentioned it's easier to copyright Amiibo and just, it's
not have to worry about it, rather than do the research on how many figures around the world are called Amigos.
Right, and stuff like that. So I was like, it's kind of a good point,
Futurama. You call them poplars? Because there's only two things not copyrighted.
Right, yeah.
I don't even remember what the other one was. I just remember it was like awful.
Right. I mean, that was like the whole shinning with the treehouse attendant.
You want to get sued, boy?
Yeah. You mean The Shining? Quiet, boy. You want us to get sued? Oh, man. It's so good.
Yeah, or like people talking about playing like Disney music and anime themes at protests so that like assholes, anyone who posts footage of it will get DMCA'd.
Dude, the best was when the t-shirt bots were spamming everything, and they were like, this should be on a t-shirt, so they would find the image and put it on a t-shirt all automatically and sell it with a link reaction, so people started doing that with all Disney properties.
So good.
And now all the bots are gone.
Apparently we need to see this image.
Oh, okay. What do we got here?
Okay, that's funny.
Oh, yeah. I've seen this picture before. Talking
about the legally safe gaps.
Yeah. There you go. You'd think it's butter. You'd butter believe it. Oh, God, I wish it were butter.
Oh, that means it's terrible. I wish it were butter. What?
Wow.
Oh, damn.
I can't even see it. I totally thought that's butter. Tastes like butter. Could it be butter? Butter, it's not. Unbelievable, this is not butter. And what not butter?
I think the bottom right two are ones in like Eastern Europe or Asia or something, because I've seen them, because like they're just, the grammar is so bad.
This one has Asian characters on it.
Oh, even better, yeah.
So that's what it is right there. So, yeah, just because one company came out there and really took the butter world by storm by calling themselves "I Can't Believe It's Not Butter" and got Fabio in their commercials.
No,
then it
Fabio.
was the end, right? So Fabio in that, and you also know Fabio's video games history, right? So
No, but I need to check one thing because I was trying to remember something.
did you ever play the video game Iron Sword on the NES?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's what I thought. It was a goose that died on Fabio's face.
What are you talking about?
Fabio was on a roller coaster and they ran over a goose. But the goose was flying through, and so it died on his face.
Oh no.
Like, sliced open his nose. But yeah, it was geese. I remember the cover.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's Fabio, dude. That's
Yep.
Fabio for Iron Sword. So there you
Oh,
go.
it's Wizards and Warriors too. Okay.
Yes, it's Wizards
Yeah.
and Warriors too. Yes.
Well, I mean, you remember where he got his real fame from originally.
Oh God, I can't remember. What was it?
He was a model like this for trashy romance novels.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, Busch Gardens. Thank you. Yeah, but it was a goose. I was trying to remember if it was a goose or a duck, but it was geese.
It was a goose. So in other words, that should be that's the canon we need to spread. The fake canon is that
It was
Fabio
actually-
killed geese.
No, it was Geese Howard is what injured Fabio's face.
Oh man. Mountain explosion. Dude, I have seen so many doctor this drink, doctor that drink.
Yeah, doctors and mountains are the ones that have like the most hilarious, like legally safe. Especially like if you own a Walmart, dude. Like 90s and 2000s Walmart had their own brand.
Yeah, no, that's
everything.
where yes, for sure. That was like President Cola or something. Oh God.
Well, I
Cone,
mean,
tell me.
It was all Sam stuff.
Yeah,
But I don't remember
no.
what the mountain one was.
Because we were obsessed with them when we were in high school. So
Because that shit's cheap.
yeah. Well, I mean, we were not obsessed with them necessarily drinking them,
Oh.
but just making fun of them. There was
Dr. Thunder. That's right. It was
Yeah.
Thunder.
No, but there was like President Cola. There was one brand I think called President Cola that Cone kept buying all the time, or something like that. I can't remember now. So he'll have to verify here. Like Red Thirst is gonna not Red Thirst.
That's a stage in vampire.
Yeah, Red Priest. Sorry, Red.
Yeah,
Priest.
Red Thirst is a stage in vampire
Yes.
savior.
Yeah. But you can see how I got him confused. Hopefully. Oh man, President.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, was that the Sam's Club drink? Okay. Red Thirst 17.
Oh fuck yeah, Dr. Leopold.
That soda will not have actually ever existed. Oh man. Hey, but at least we've gotten that sea salt flavor to officially be like Terry's armpit now, thanks to Torrance. So.
Not just Torrance. There's been multiple pictures.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
now?
no, I think the first night was another picture too.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it Nyato or was it just Torrance twice? I can't remember.
Yeah,
But there's definitely more than one picture of Terry's armpit.
That is some FGC lore that I am always going to be proud of having helped manifest into reality.
Terry's armpit flavored President's Choice. Holy shit. Damn, you even hid the evidence. Of the cans that are still here, that's not one of them.
I didn't. That wasn't one of the ones that you guys gave me to hold on to. So and I'm okay with that. I am okay.
Dude, my favorite is still getting Twitter DMs of people trying it for the first time, and they're like, "Oh God."
Oh jeez, yeah. No one can escape Terry's armpit, dude.
It was someone I was talking to. They went to the store and the only flavor they had was Terry, and they're like, you know what?
Reason why.
Fuck it.
Right.
We're about to do this. I'm like, don't.
Dude, we have probably sold more Terry's armpit sodas based off of calling it Terry's armpit and causing people to want to be so dead curious about it,
So I'm not gonna lie, I was actually kind of mad that I forgot to pack one of the Orochi ones for the presentation today. I think it would have been fitting if I was just sitting here drinking the Orochi flavor.
Oh man.
But yeah, so Yeah, Geenits is just really like my favorite villain from KOF. Yeah. He's an excellent villain, and he's fucking rad. And I really want him to appear in 15 so we can have an officially playable appearance.
Right, and hopefully
that's not chaos,
and hopefully not have him be broken, right? So
And dude, honestly, I don't care as long as he's tournament legal. Like, he can be worse than Rugal, and that's fine. He can be Cronin tier, and that's fine. Right. Just don't ban him. That's all I'm asking. Like, I just want to have a little bit of fun with him. And honestly, like, my guess is that, okay, if he's in 15, my guess is what's going to happen is that all his projectiles are going to work kind of like weird normals, where if I'm wrong and I throw it out, I'm just going to linger there and hold the tornado out, and I can be punished. But if it hits you, then the fireball's gone, and then again, it's recovers.
Dude, okay. Erroneous error. Sorry, my brain just started going. So error wrote Terry's armpit at Evo. If we do another synchronized booth, we just need to have a bunch of those sodas in a cooler and just record everybody tasting the sea salt soda. Dude,
that would be such a great montage.
Just TikTok them all. I think that's gonna have to be something to do.
If we can track down that many Terry's armpit cans.
If you can get that many Terry's armpit cans, but I mean, you could pour them into little cups, right? So that way,
does it make everyone take shots?
Yeah, so they don't have to do it. Call it the pit stop. And you know what?
You made James take the fucking breath. Holy crap!
And basically, have a give out. Like, you get this if you get to taste the Terry's armpit, and we get to film your reaction. The pit stop. Oh my god, dude.
So there's one thing that I think would be a really fun idea for some fighting game event to do is to steal something from an anime convention. I think it's Anime Los Angeles. They somehow managed to start a tradition, or actually they may not have started it, but they're the ones keep doing it. So you have your con badge, and then people get the little custom like ribbons with graphics printed on it, and you can like stick them onto your badge, and you just have this fucking giant badge with all these ribbons dangling from it. I think for like a fighting game event, having those dumbass ribbons would actually be kind of hilarious because you'd have all sorts of shitty fighting game memes and stuff. Yeah. And we literally would have to have a ribbon of "I love the metal hat" or the metal plate.
I love the metal plate. And it just needs to look like the metal plate. Yeah. It just needs to be silver with like little fake bolts on them and stuff.
But yeah, like I still have my my ribbon from Tadao. Is it Toramatsu? Mr. Shake Hands Man. I'm gonna be such an asshole if I can't remember his last name. It's Tadao Mas. I can't remember if it's a Mas or a Toramatsu or something. Fucking come on, Facebook. Where are you? I know I have you in here somewhere. Yeah, Tomomatsu. There we go. Tadao Tomomatsu. If you remember, like before we got the like Ninja Warrior Extreme Challenge stuff.
Oh yeah.
We had first the it was Bonsai. Yeah, the show was called Bonsai, and it was a variety show that was parodying Japanese variety shows.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
And so one of them was Mr. Shake Hands Man.
Okay.
And what he would do is go to red carpet events, and he would have the camera rolling, and he'd introduce himself, and he'd shake hands with the celebrity.
Oh, right.
And he's hi, how are you? And then he would not let go and just keep talking, shake hands, and they'd run a timer for how long he could stay there engaged. And it was the funniest fucking thing.
Oh, God.
And Tadao is like the nicest fucking dude. And so one of the anime conventions, he brought fucking Mr. Shake Hands Man ribbons.
Oh, you got one of those. Nice. Okay.
Nah, Tadao's great.
Oh, no. We got Mr. Shake Hands. Yeah, okay. There you go.
Yeah. Bonsai was hilarious.
Oh, man.
But yeah, no, he's great. And yeah, just like the con ribbons, I think would be funny. Because someone would have to have like a Moment 37 ribbon and shit like that.
Of course, yeah.
What are you standing up for ribbon would be fun.
Jesus. There'd be so many good quotes for it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So. Like it's a 2001 parody of Japanese television. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
I still remember even in 2001. I think that was one of the reasons why I probably didn't watch it.
Yeah, but no, talking with him is extra funny, though, because he's like, if you're trying to get a job in acting, just tell them that, the Asian guy from Heroes. Because he was in Heroes for like 5 minutes.
Nice. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, like, speaking of that kind of thing, dude, shout outs to James Hong. Did you see that SAG speech, dude?
I haven't watched it all yet. I just thinking like the little like everyone's posting it. And I was like, I need to.
Yeah, dude. Oh, James Hong. He's 94 years old, and you watch that speech, and you're like, holy shit! Like, I hope I'm like this when I'm 94, dude. Seriously. So.
I mean, one of us has to say it.
I'm pretty close.
Not where I was going with that.
It all began in 94? Is that what we're going with?
Don't worry about it. But now I need to...
Okay. I guess I'm... Okay.
No, honestly, for 94, he's still looking, like, phenomenal.
Yeah. Or you're talking about the Asian don't raisin thing.
Thank you!
Okay,
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. But I'm not even talking about the way he looks. It was his energy, too. Yeah. So,
The same difference.
Okay.
Really?
I suppose so. Oh, man. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, no, Pluto TV is amazing.
Dude, like I said,
fucking Pluto TV sponsor us.
Dude, I have Pluto TV running like freaking Iron Chef like 24/7 in my room.
Dude, so we were watching Iron Chef on Pluto TV the other day, hoping that the asshole would come up so I could actually see that moment.
You talking about the Kandagawa guy or who?
No, the reason we all hate Bobby Flay.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
I was hoping for that. But yeah, Pluto TV is the reason I've seen any more than 2 episodes of One Piece. They have a literal One Piece channel, 24/7.
Yeah,
One Piece.
They said that they just announced that they're starting a Sailor Moon channel.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, and then they're gonna show nothing but Sailor Moon on it.
Oh my god.
My problem is
rest in peace, One Piece channel.
If you've never seen Sailor Moon before, can you actually watch it and have it be in order? That's the question. I don't know if they're gonna keep showing it in order repeatedly.
Well, there's multiple Sailor Moon series as well.
Right, and I think they have like 3 of them or something like that. So, yeah.
But yeah, no. That'd be really cool.
Cone actually uses Iron Chef to keep time because when they start tasting, it's 40 minutes. Yeah, a lot of times when I walk into my room and I hear, like, which Iron Chef do you want to challenge? I'm like, oh, it's top of the hour. You're actually right. I never realized how much I've used that now to figure out what time it is in the day. Holy crap, that's kind of creepy.
Let's see. If anyone's going to Evo Japan, bring me back a poster. I want one of those SNK posters so bad.
Same.
Because like that, I love the fucking wallpaper that they gave out.
Yeah.
But I still want better resolution than what they gave us.
Yeah.
And that poster is.
Yeah. I mean, I would ask for one, but I would rather you receive one before me. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
If you give me one, I promise you it will be going to Mike before I keep it myself.
And I will frame that son of a bitch. I mean, I wish, but I'm not making it to Evo Japan.
Right. Yeah.
But still planning on going to Japan, just not for Evo.
Right. Of course.
Yeah, I really wanted to cosplay Geenits at Evo Japan. I thought that would have been a lot of fun.
That would have been cool. That would have been amazing, actually.
By the way, something I actually only realized recently, that if we're going like strict adherence, I am still not tall enough to be Geenits.
How tall is Geenits?
Apparently he's 6'4".
Oh, dang.
He's a lot of guy.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. It's like never really conveyed that much in game. But yeah, no, he apparently a big fella.
Yeah. Okay.
Good for him. But yeah.
He could play ball.
Dude, are you kidding me? He'd be overpowered because he just throw tornadoes and get better lift.
I don't think he would be allowed to use his powers if he played basketball. But
you want to tell him?
Yeah, I know. That, and I don't know how you could stop him anyway.
Yeah,
so,
you want to tell him?
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, he might consider it just based on the fact that, like, that game ain't hurting nobody. Dude, you can't damage the earth by, like, jumping and putting things in a hoop. Like...
I mean, dude, like, at Capcom Cup, I got to meet Zelina Vega, aka Thea Trinidad, who is the other color commentator, right? And I mean, I've seen pictures of her on the internet and stuff like that before, but I mean, in person, wow, she is a tiny, tiny human being.
That happened.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. Also, case in point, depending on which things you're reading, Goenitz's wind powers are enough that he can fly. Or at least hover, so...
He's an airbender?
Pretty much.
He's literally an airbender.
Dude,
holy crap.
One of the manga comics that does some of his backstory, he is hovering around a battleship and just stealing oxygen from people's lungs, just killing them. He's ape shit.
Yeah, I mean, God, how long ago was that?
The comic?
Yeah, the comic.
That comic is from, I think, 1997?
Okay, so that was
definitely... And the story is from 1984 or so.
Okay.
The story itself.
Okay, because that's before, because they did that in Korra, Legend of Korra, killing someone by pulling their, air out of their lungs and stuff, so yeah.
But yeah, no, he's just walking and floating around, just ripping everyone the fuck up.
Jesus.
But yeah,
it was Korra, erroneous. It was Korra.
But yeah, no, I think the comic's from 97 or 98, and it takes place in 84.
Okay.
Because it's the same comic where he apparently lets Rugal have the power and gives him mature advice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really neat comic. It's also fucking hard to find.
Right.
I definitely was doing a lot of research.
Shout outs to you once again for doing all that research, dude. I still can't believe you got that far.
Sometimes obsession hits different. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'll say. Like I said, this is definitely your white whale, dude. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they had that montage where you ended up in Carmartage and you're trying to find that information. So
yeah, but I mean, again, if somebody knows how to reach out to Vincent, let him ping me. That would be great. Mm-hmm. Vincent, if you're watching, hit me up.
At OlafRedland on Twitter.
I mean, just check your Twitter because, you haven't used it in 5 years, but I'm still following you.
Oh, man. Well, obviously, we're going to close out on a Geenits song, right?
For sure.
Right.
I think, now the thing is, I really do like the 98, oomphy version. I like the 2002 version, but I think we should do this legit and just do the 96 version. Just the flat 96 OST.
What's an AST?
Arranged.
Oh,
that's the arranged version.
Okay. But you want to just do the OST.
I mean, I can live with the AST. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'll for the fans, we can just do the 96 AST.
Okay.
Yeah, 96 AST Trash Head.
Trash Head.
Did we do the 96 OST last time? Really?
Is that what someone's saying?
Yeah. So this would be the A. I don't even remember exactly what this one sounds like offhand.
Trash Head KOF 96?
Yeah, and then you want the AST or range.
Well, I just want to see, because I want to see if they had the red line under it or not. So.
Yeah, doesn't look like it.
Okay,
so we're good.
We'll just do this one then?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. It's going to start with an advertisement, of course. As always.
Yeah, it's fine. But thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed all my obsessive research, and hopefully I'll have another update before the next year.
Oh, God.
But also, actually, real quick, I think it's worth noting that this concludes our 2-year anniversary celebration.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Let's be honest. Mark was the highlight. Let's be honest. That was so cool.
So it was kind of, I mean, I know it was very surreal for Kitty, right?
I mean, me too. And I was the one setting it up. I was like, oh shit, he said yes? Yes!
Oh, man. Alrighty then. So again, I know, who knows what to expect this coming year for KOF and stuff. And
we've got a lot of characters we know.
Right, rollback Sam show,
We got the crossplay coming to KOF.
Yeah, hopefully the improved matchmaking code. Please. Give me a way to play this game, dude. Oh, man.
I mean, I still want to play more of it in general.
Right.
I really, I don't think I've played against a human in 6 months.
Dang, really? Not even like some of the people that you were trying to help learn or anything like that, huh?
Dude, Kitty's internet's shit.
Oh, right.
Remember, like we did try to do the that online content.
Yeah.
And no, it was unplayable.
Yeah, and it's because you haven't been here for 5 fucking months now.
Which is its own fucking can of worms.
All right. Okay.
Oh, actually, I forgot. I did want to make one more joke because I forgot to slip it into the presentation.
Okay.
But if you think certain things in the manhwa have happened, or some of the things that are the non-canon but they're official, whatever, then anytime you say that, that means that you're admitting that John Cena is canon to KOF. Officially authorized.
Which, of course, then means that KOF and Scooby-Doo live in the same universe as well.
Flawless.
So, in KOF 15, I mean...
fucking, you let Norval fucking hang out in KOF, I'm down for it.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. Anyways, there's too many ways to go with this train of thought, so we
should just close out on fucking John Cena's theme.
I mean, one of my greatest streaming moments was, I think I've told you, when I was playing Mega Man 2 on one of the things, like on one of those throwback things, and I was talking, because you know how at the very end you go into that little underground cavern where the little red drops are coming out, and you go in the door, and I was like, for those of you who didn't play it, actually it turns out that Dr. Wily is, and when I went through the gate, I immediately switched to a John Cena video, and I started playing the John Cena video. So,
also, for the question that just popped up in chat, are Terry and Andy Geese Howard's bastard sons? Probably not. It has not been confirmed, but it is a running theory that at least Andy is Geese's biological son, because Terry and Andy are both adopted.
There was actually a thing about that?
There's a running theory that Andy is Geese's biological son.
Right, I know they were both orphans and stuff like that, but I had no idea there was that potential that Andy could be related to Geese.
I mean, they honestly look pretty aesthetically similar, and also Andy's the one with kind of more the bad temper. He's a little more hot-blooded of the two. So there is a large running theory that Andy might be Geese's son. Probably not Terry, but the theory is that Andy, but nothing has ever been confirmed.
Well, Deadly Rave Neo is taking credit for starting that rumor, and that's how it all goes anyway, so...
I mean, if you want to claim credit for that rumor, but you definitely are not the first.
That is loud. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to blow your ears off there. Hope everybody's okay. Sorry. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, guys, and we will see you next time. Peace.